Welcome to Graeme Games. My name is Graeme. This is a game. Today I'm going live with the brand new Wytchwood. I was just immediately drawn in by the incredibly charming looking storybook style. I liked the idea of just this kind of story-rich RPG exploration based crafting adventure. I think that sums up like all of the different components of the game at least decently well. And so I am fully ready for it. I've had an eye on this one for a while, and thank you so much to the developers for hooking me up with a key so I could give it a chance here. Once upon a time, there lived an odd little witch in an odd little house. It makes it seem like the swamp is talking to me, whereas I think it's just like labeling the location. She spent most of her days tending to her odd little garden and resting in her odd little chair. On this day, however, her sleep is interrupted by an odd little noise. Immediately we're getting, like fairy tale style. Oh, hey, X, thanks for tuning in. It's alright if you can't stick around. Ah! Who's there? It's a goat. They just announced their presence. How would that be confusing in any way? Oh, it's funny. It only came through the one side there. Oh, I get to be the hardcore character with that big heavy metal helmet, hey? Do you know what this makes me think of, though, the witch and interacting with the goat, is that horror movie from like 2015, 2016, The Witch? You devil! How dare you wake up a young lady from her beauty sleep? Shoo, shoo! Get out of my house, you mindless beast! You're making a mess. With a swift kick in the rump, you boot the goat through the front door. But I kind of wanted to hang out with the wee little goat a while longer. When did this place get so cluttered? I could have sworn I swept the hearth just yesterday. First things first. Hearth. My old grimoire must be around here somewhere. The new chapter. First things first. Yes, I do prefer to start things with the first. The first point. It's usually a good place to start. I just I like seeing in different games the ways that they allow you to see your character even when you're moving behind objects. So it's kind of playing around to see like whether it would go away entirely. It's just like partially transparent. Just kind of an interesting little thing to investigate. I don't know if it's going to tell me when I can interact with things or if I just kind of have to spam click interacting. There it is. There, it highlights it a little bit. Aha, here it is. It's lighter than I recall. Your grimoire contained all of your craftable recipes. You can open it at any time by pressing Y. Oh my goodness, this is much more things than I expected. I have some twigs, a small stick, still retaining a bit of flexibility. You're going to be able to cook up some crazy potions by mixing a pair of twigs together. That's bonkers. It's funny to have a mini map for just your house, the hag's home. That's just like the amount that it's showing me there is identical to the amount I'm seeing just walking around. All my recipes are missing. That damnable creature has chewed up all my pages of the book. Where's my belt? I'll need to carry my things if I'm going to confront the beast. I must have left it in that trunk over there. Ooh, I have a few things. A braided belt, a reedy twine, another braided belt? No, I skipped the MP nut. MP? Its thorny husk has stimulating properties, whether ground and consumed or simply stepped on. And the seeker vine. Even in the least likely of places, this tenacious ivy always finds a way. Well, I'm gonna take everything. I want it all. You can't stop me. Oof, my poor back. How long was I napping for? A good dose of medicine ought to soothe these aching bones before I head outside. I'm enjoying the excuses so far to show the different things. Like, I always appreciate an integrated tutorial. Don't stop and teach me the game. Like, Go investigate your grimoire. Go and collect things from this chest. A belt is where you're gonna carry things. Go create your first potion. Like, and there's like funny story reasons or like, you know, minor relatable story reasons for each. At least I still have the recipe for my mending poultice. Which, that was literally the one thing I have. A speckled herbal paste that heals aches and pains. Heals depleted hearts. Well, okay, but the stuff is just laying around. I do have the few things needed. A few mushrooms in the corner, which, yeah, good thing we're cleaning up our space because that's kind of gross. There's some weird ass paintings on the wall here. Like, one just looks like a spider, I guess. One is like a witch burning at a stake, which is like a really weird thing for a witch to have a painting of a burning witch. But I guess is that no stranger than human beings having a crucified Jesus on their wall? Like, maybe that's kind of what's going on there. They seem comparable on some level. But then there's also like a weird ghoul just immediately left of the fireplace. A weird ghoul. Maybe that's what I look like without my helmet on. I don't know. I haven't like combed my hair or anything this morning, so it could very well be. I still am missing one leaf. There we go. Last leaf. And I just keep trying to run over to the potion to do things. Oh, I'm still one mushroom shy? No, I have 2 out of 1. I have everything I need. Do I not need the... Oh, I just assumed I would need the cauldron. So I can just craft anything at any time? I crafted the poultice. And then... some cool effects. But really, oh my god. I just kind of am appreciating the art one more time before I leave this room. There's clearly so much care and affection. It reminds me the tiniest bit of Broken Age, but it's clearly its own unique thing. It's I'm really digging the look of it. You step outside into a humid marsh and immediately stub your toe on a twisted root. Ouch! Close your eyes for a wink, and the next thing you know, the whole yard's gone to weeds. Yeah, but when you have 4 eyes, do you think a wink is closing half of your eyes? Closing just one side of your eyes? Closing all but one eye? What is a wink? What is a 4-eyed wink? Questions. It's some real... That's when you start burning witches. When you just realize these are unanswerable. And the only solution is to burn them at the stake. Somewhere in the distance, you can hear braying through the dense bramble. Where'd that cross-eyed Billy get to? He could at least put those gnashers to good use on this lawn. Open a map, get a better look at your surroundings. I do think we should put the goat to task. Okay, so it's just a shortcut to open directly to the map. The Hag's Grotto. We're tanning something. I'm kind of keeping an eye out. Like, can I just grab literally every mushroom? Oh my god, we have like a full-on goat shrine? Some shears will cut these cleanly. Okay, so I'm going to need a little more tools before I start doing things. You can see, like, wash bins. Oh, there's some... I'm trying to gauge if there's the tiniest bit of... Obviously, there's parallax, like the reeds here in front, like moving at different rates and things. But I almost think that, like, the steps up to the house have, like, some perspective to them as well. I'm just obsessed with the art direction of this game. I think it looks absolutely phenomenal. Chad is suggesting you wink one eye at a time, all but one of them. So it would be like a sequential, like close, 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 one left open. Oh, see, they looked all thorny. I assumed I would need a tool to grab those as well. At least there's something. And a chest that I straight up cannot open. But I suppose that Billy just ran right out of here. Oh, there's like a creepy little, like, Blair Witch thing hanging on the side of the house there as well. Another, like, goat thing, just pouring a little bucket, cute little fountain. Hey, buddy. Ah! Is that all you've got to say for yourself? Ah! It's like choking on something. The goat coughs up a disgusting hairball. Yes. Hello. Hello? Can you hear me now? Apologies. It's been so long since I've used a mortal vessel. Yuck! There's dirt in my mouth. Puh! Puh! I'm really trying to channel Garbad the Weak after having played Diablo 1 infinite times. You can talk? Of course I can talk. You strong, me weak. I love that game. Has your mind become so filled with cobwebs that you've forgotten your old friend? You wound me, madam. It's good to see you up and about. I was beginning to wonder if you'd ever awaken, though I suppose time flows strangely in this place. Anyway, I've come to collect. Do you have the amount we agreed upon? Amount? Amount of what? Oh dear, you're a goat. You may have gotten confused which vessel you're currently inhabiting, but goat, dear, easy confusion, I can understand. If you really don't remember, we should go over the contract details again. Down there. Oh, geez, is this a demon inhabiting the goat, bringing us to hell? The goat nods its head towards the ancient stone gateway looming nearby. And just how am I supposed to get through that solid rock? You're the one who sealed it last. Take a closer look, and I'm sure it will come back to you. Open your witch's eye with X to inspect objects and creatures and discover their weakness. I'm going to inspect this goat so I can find his weakness and blast him before this demon comes after me. I'll help you out. Trust me. Only the most untrustworthy people say things like that. The stone pillar, an unusually large standing stone wrapped with enchanted engravings. Weakness, the unveiling powder. Oh, so I learned the recipe there on the spot too. Don't underestimate your senses, my dear. Witch. Goat. We've been over this. You may be old, but you can see things that others cannot. Hidden weaknesses lying below the surface. Ah, I can see it now. There are shallow runes etched into the surface of the stone, but they are too faint for me to read. A powder of unveiling ought to do the trick. If you hadn't made a snack of my book, I wouldn't have to retranscribe my recipes. Yeah, ooh, trust me, I'm here to help. You're the one who put us in this situation, goat. I shall not be held liable for any losses or inconveniences incurred as the result of abysmal possession. Abyssal? Abyssal? By inspecting objects and creatures, you can learn new recipes. Oh, cool. I was really curious how we would go about learning the recipes. I think the encouragement to simply stop and inspect things, which in a game where they've put so much time into making the environments detailed and heavily appreciable, the fact that stopping and appreciating it is your best means to learn about things makes a lot of sense to me. I really like that. A common wetland grass known for its fibrous stem. So just hovering over it, it tells me that the weakness is shears, but does that also tell me that how to make shears? Because I assume I can craft more than just crafting spells, but maybe not. Spells, reagents, and maybe I don't actually craft tool belts. Maybe I actually have to go find that sort of stuff. But we might as well craft one of these powders since we obviously need that. A sprinkling of this dust will reveal hidden mysteries. And before we go too far, I do want to check this out. A vine-tangled ruin. This is where I thought he was going to send me. These old stones are tightly wrapped in innumerable vines. I mean, I bet you could enumerate them. I don't think there's that many. There's clearly a lot. There's no shortage. But you're getting overwhelmed a little easy. The cauldron, a sturdy iron pot engraved with magical runes. I basically just assumed there would be one or two things to inspect in the house, so I thought I'd give her a quick peek. Oh, look at that. Hacks. That's how you get yourself a nice pocket full of ingredients, I guess. Decent start. Now we can make all sorts of useful things for ourselves. I like they just chuck it on the ground. It's like the opposite of a smoke bomb, a revealing bomb. You smear a handful of glowing powder onto the runes of the doorway. A cool blue light emanates from the glyphs and envelops the entrance in its aura. You squint, attempting to discern the meaning of the letters. They appear to be in some obscure runic alphabet. What gibberish is this? It looks like it was carved by a frightened hen. It must be written in the umbral tongue. Allow me to translate. The goat steps up to the doorway and pauses. Well, what does it say? The goat swings its shaggy head towards you. Dark, matted wool obscures the creature's beady eyes. Goats do have freaky eyes. Sheep's eyes, top grossness. Weird eyes, sheep eyes, and I assume goat eyes are as gross. I've never looked as deeply into a goat's eyes. I have a sheep. Part of my soul died that day, I think. I cannot see. Seems like you just need a bit of a haircut, maybe. Unbelievable. What help are you then? I didn't come here to help. Trust me, I'm here to help. I'm going to guide you along your way. Oh, no, sorry. Suddenly things became a little too real. I'm not here to help. Don't ask me. I came to collect. Now do something about this mop of hair, would you? He does just want a haircut. I have to go get the shears. I was joking that he had his emo swoop covering his eyes or whatever, 2008 Justin Bieber hair or whatever. Fine. I think I have some rusty old shears down in the garden. I do not know what we call the garden. Down here, that makes sense. Maybe take the shovel too and give that goat a good old bash while we're at it. Then ask him if he can still see. In the chest. That makes sense. Good place to store some knickknacks. Shears, simple, good for cutting things, and tough plant fibers, roughly braided into a thin rope. While I'm at it now, I do want to go. Oh, it's just the reedy twine, so it's the same deal. But I might as well scoop up whatever ingredients I can. Are you happy now, goat? You stop walking around. I'm about to start snipping, and if you get snipped where you don't want to, that's your own fault. With much protest and a nicked ear, I told him to stop moving. You shear away clumps of dirty hair from the goat's eyes. Ah, much better. Oh my. Yeah, okay, confirmed. Goat's eyes as weird as sheep eyes. Were you always this grotesque? Or is my memory failing me as well? Watch your tongue, or I'll give it a good snip too. Now, can you read the runes or not? Yes. A space beneath. She sleeps alone. Tokens given up to the unknown. Fires of 4 shall unroot the stone. Braziers burn and await the crone. Crone? Who's it calling a crone? And what are these tokens I'm to burn? Perhaps you want to take a closer look at the braziers. So that we got 4 of them. Each one is a bit different. Ash-caked, the empty, the crusted, and the glinting. The remnants of its last burn are barely discernible from the time since. I need a blue feather. I need dog hair. Frog slime. The art for the frog slime is really enjoyable. It's funny that it just kind of seems like, maybe a cloth bag was not the right thing to contain your frog slime in. But, I've never needed to do it myself, so I couldn't offer up a better solution, honestly. And a shiny stone. Dog hair, bird, feather, frog slime, shiny stone. I don't suppose you swallowed up any of those things while I was asleep. I don't think so. But feel free to sift through this creature's leavings if you want to be completely sure. However, there's a whole world outside this little swamp, See that gateway over there? The one with the lovely green flame? The goat motions to the far side of your yard. I guess a brisk walk in the woods would do these creaky joints some good. Too much time indoors is bad for the humors. I actually really enjoy the way this tutorial's laid out. It's very quick and contained. The area in which it takes place is fascinating. We really do get that fairy tale fable feel of the dial. I don't know. I think this is a very good opening to a game. Snipping and tearing, your shears make short work of the bramble. Oh, it opened up a full-on portal into the darkness. Something here beckons. A portal to the unknown. I've been beckoned. I could not resist. the second that it comes asking. The space between. You cut your way through the remaining vines and suddenly step into a cold stone dais. Time seems to flow backwards. Or maybe it speeds forwards. An oppressive, star-filled void stretches as far as you can see. Though there is no wind or sound in this void, a warm fall breeze and the chirping of birds seizes your attention. So there's no wind or sound, but also there is wind and sound. Just, silly me, I missed them at first. A doorway. So I'm just curious how many, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? 8 different areas. And immediately I have the hearth seed. Ooh, it's just very colorful and very, very interesting, beautiful looking. Oh, I do have hearts. I was starting to wonder if this game would be so passive and friendly that I would never have to worry about dying. Our first stop is the forest. Oh, such gorgeous like fall colors, but then that style of showing the trunk and branches of a tree with all the leafery, the foliage behind is so like Powerpuff Girls and like Samurai Jack, and I don't know the name of the guy who kind of like created that art style, but that's what it makes me think of, blended together with like storybook fairy tale styles. And I think that's a big part of why I love this so much. A simple trap is what I need. We're gonna start just catching squirrels. That damn squirrel has the biggest tail. A hatchet might break this apart. I once helped out TAing a field school and was put in charge of a section that was not at all anything I had any experience with, and it was entirely about squirrels, so I spent like 2 days reading up on squirrel facts so that I could present things, and all the students were like, how long have you studied squirrels for? And I was like, 0 time? Never? But the one student thought they were going to catch me off guard with like a sharp question. They asked me what the biggest squirrel I had ever seen was. And I was so excited to have an answer. It was the Kaibab squirrel from the Kaibab Forest, which is like just next to the Grand Canyon. And it's like specifically known for being the biggest squirrel on the planet, I think, or at the very least in like this hemisphere or something like that. So yeah, biggest squirrel there is, Kaibab squirrel. I was so thrilled to have an answer to that question when they were clearly like goofing around. The bird watcher. The woman spins around on her heels so quickly she nearly hits you with her spyglass. Ah, you startled me. Can't you see I'm busy with my scientific research? Research? What is it you're looking for with that contraption? Why, the famed indigo-tuft forest lark. They're said to be native to the forest and this forest only. Have you seen one perchance? Nah, I'm too busy rambling about squirrels. But I do love silly named birds. There's like an AI that like spits out computer generated bird names based on like things that have been fed into its algorithm, and the results are always amazing. They're like the teal-winged, black-butted, brown-redded, goose-necked, bubble-footed dove. And it's just like, yeah, that's probably real. Who's to say it isn't? You glance upward at the small blue bird perched atop the oblivious woman's hat. That's not like a pet. I haven't. Sorry. A shame. Well, it's never too late to open one's eyes to the wonders of the natural world. You never know what you'll discover. She points at a nearby woodland critter, stuffing its cheeks with seeds. Cheers, Xfininator. I'm glad you think so. My goal is always to show off games that people may have otherwise missed. That's the type of things I like to play, so it's the things I like to show. Take that squirrel, for example. Spend a few moments watching its behavior and you'll learn everything you need to know about it. Observation is key. I kind of already had stopped doing that. It's a good reminder, I guess. And funny to have a character who is specifically, notably, observably bad at looking at their surroundings, describing to us the way that we should probably be looking around at our surroundings. Now, if you don't mind, I wouldn't want to miss making an exciting new discovery. The bluebird glances vacantly at you before pooping on the brim of the woman's hat. It's not even going to fly away. It's just going to poop on her and stay sitting. That's cruel. Really, quite an insult. Oh, there you are. I couldn't find you for a minute. Possesses an energy far outpacing its tranquil home. That is funny. There's like an interesting juxtaposition there that I've never quite considered. The wicker work. So here's where I can maybe build like tools potentially. A widget woven, a good frame to start building around. So I need at least one of those. And I need the nuts or whatever it is that I do have. A wooden spring snare for catching the small denizens of the forest, useful against birds, squirrels, and rats. Oh, this is like a usable item. When thrown sharply against the ground, this seed will spirit you back to cozy comforts. I was thinking with hearth in the name, it would be something like that. So obviously not something I need right away. Set the trap. Where'd that squirrel get off to? All right, I'm gonna plop that like right here. And he's just gonna run. Oh, it is baited. Oh my God, squirrel! I'm so sorry. The bluebird, was he about to steal my meaty morsel, and or my rodent lard? Perhaps. Ew. It's like a little bit gross, isn't it? A simple rope waistband keeps items in. That's not lard. It was. Oh, you can't. Oh, that's there. Oh, you can do it. It really felt like I couldn't go down. Down doesn't work. Down goes right, which is kind of annoying. It's weird that it won't let you navigate the menu in that way, but if I hit left, that takes it. It's just, I don't like that menu navigation very much. It's like not as useful as it could be. Useful for cooking in a pinch, but some find the flavor off-putting. Never eaten squirrel. Never have. A warm gobbet of animal meat. I really thought I was going to capture that cute little guy and not absolutely obliterate him forever. I feel a little cruel for having done so. I'd like to leave the other ones alone if I can. Look at all these whimsical mushrooms. And then there's like a Tinkerbell over there, you know, that as they are collectively known. And then this weird little, like, I don't know what to call him, mushroom gnome. A ragamuffin, or he might be ragamuffin. Oh, you probably got some frog slime for me. He looks like he belongs to that, like, whatever it is, trio or quartet of, like, bad guys from Powerpuff Girls, and the one has, like, green skin. Snake, I think is his name. It's totally giving me those vibes, and I like that a lot. Oi, lady, what's with the great stinking pot on your head? I would ask you the same about all those stinking frogs in your trousers. You're just jealous. The boy fumbles between trying to wrangle all his frogs and swiping ineffectually at wayward fireflies with a shoddy-looking bug net. Juggling a little more than you can handle, eh? What exactly are you hopping to accomplish, flailing about like that? Are you daft? Me frogs are hungry, so I gotta catch some of these fireflies to feed 'em. He takes another wild swing, missing his target entirely. Why don't you let me take a few of those frogs off your hands for a moment? Squeeze the slime out of them. That would let you swing the net properly. Oh, I see how it is. You're after me precious prizes. Well, how about I give you the net and you catch me some fireflies? Then maybe I'll think about trading you one of my froggies. The boy waggles the net in your face. It's kind of rude to get that out of my face right this instant. But yes, I will take the net off your hands because I want me some fireflies for my own good. And I'm going to catch this fairy. Come back here. Come back here, Tinker. Oh, it worked. But then what did I just do? I think I collected fairy dust. Come back here. They'll chop you good. No, I don't want to chop it. I just want to know about it. A changeling. Most mushrooms don't do this much wiggling. The weakness is that I can grab it? Is that what it's telling me? Or a hatchet. I can either chop it to bits with an axe or pick it up with my hand. Those are the options. Those are on extreme ends of the scale there. Like, what? Well, I do just want to grab it. Come back here. I'll chop you. I don't want to chop it. I legitimately just want to grab it. I suddenly like can't use my net. Have I maxed things out there? That worked. There we go. Okay, so I think it's just that I cannot use the net on it, so it just won't let me use the net. Well, I don't know how to use my witch's grasp. I'm not trying to shear him. I don't want to do that. So a grasp must be its own separate thing that I haven't figured out at this stage. What can I learn about Ragamuffin? His enthusiasm for catching frogs is not tempered by his limited ability to hold them. He's just constantly overflowing with frogs. And he knows what he wants and he won't allow it to stop. Oh, that's interesting. You can learn where you can find specific ingredients. That's quite helpful. The Firefly, a tiny sprite that emanates an unnatural glow, perhaps the larval stage of a fairy. That's a funny way to think of it. Fairy dust, barely visible, but makes your fingers tingle at the touch. Well, okay, I'll get back to you in a second here, Ragamuffin. I got at least one more of these to yoink. Well, these hoppers aren't going to stick around with empty bellies. The faster you catch fireflies, the faster we can eat. Are you planning to eat some fireflies as well? I kind of wouldn't doubt it. I mean the frogs can eat. The boy holds out an empty jar with holes poked in the lid. There you go. I'll hook you up. The boy shakes the jar, rattling the captured insects like pennies in a piggy bank. Oh, these are nice and juicy. The lads are going to feast tonight. Oh, Dayton, how you doing, bud? Good to see you in the chat. Now, about our deal. You agreed to trade me one of your pets there. What deal? I don't remember making no. A frog squirms out of the boy's overalls and plops down by his feet with a wet slap. Ooh. Dang it. There goes Slippery Pete. I mean, are all of them slippery? You got like Slippery Pete, Slippery Jeff, Slippery Sandy, Slippery Sarah. Like they're just all, I think I just naturally started drifting towards alliterative names because that would be my preference of naming them. He takes a clumsy swipe at the amphibian, but the creature squeezes out of his grasp and bounces into the underbrush. Ah, shucks. I never liked him anyways. If you can catch him, he's all yours. He is clearly playing favorites, huh? Now I can actually inspect a fairy. I should have inspected the frog. The most delicate of creatures vanishes in a cloud of dust when caught. Can I, like, talk to you? Too quick for hands alone. Well, then I'm gonna slap you with a net if that's what my options have been limited to. I guess can I squeeze the things I need out of the frog? No, I got the frog slime just instantly. Oh, you got sent a key for this one as well. Yeah, I am just like sucked into the world of this game so quickly. I think everything about it is charming and gorgeous and endearing and pleasant, and like I could so easily just see spending an entire weekend just enjoying this wonderful fairy tale world, you know? Slippery mucus secreted from a damp-dwelling amphibian. So I got my first thing. One thing crossed off the list there. I do kind of want to attempt to catch a bird. Oh, once you've done it once, you can like quick craft it? That was actually quite handy. Oh, I don't have enough nuts to craft more than one snap trap. So I'm a little limited here. I would prefer to catch the bird just because I kind of don't even know what to expect. Like, am I still just going to get morsels? This squirrel's just immediately going to go kill himself. Well, you guys tried. Could I have... Can I, like, sneak up on you oh, I got more. Okay, that's exactly what I needed more of. I wanted to sneak up on the bird and try to slap it in a trap. I don't know if that's actually what I should be doing or could be doing. Like, I assume the birds are just going to be drawn to it the way the squirrels are. There you are, buddy. Don't mind me. I'm just doing nothing harmful here. Get away. I specifically don't want you near that. So, you know, back off for just a second and allow me to do my thing. Oh, I have to inspect the log to learn how to make the hatchet. Obviously. Yes, I didn't do that. A fallen tree overgrown with mushrooms and moss. Incorrect. I did not learn how to make the hatchet. I guess I didn't learn how to make the shears either. All right, I can pick that back up. I can go do something else in the meantime. I do also know that there's like a lumberjack kind of off to like the northeast. Yeah, I do want to go see what he's up to next, because I feel like the odds are he'll teach me how to make an axe, or he'll give me one, or, you know, something useful like that. So he's probably who I want to spend my time with next. Oh, maybe not a lumberjack. Come on, you're going to look at that guy and tell me he's not a lumberjack? He's got a pet wolf. This guy's my hero. Kiln Man. Is it the world's worst superhero? He's named himself after his ability to bake clay pots. It doesn't sound like a superpower to me, but, you know, I guess Batman he doesn't really have the power of a bat, does he? He just kind of looks like one. Evening, ma'am. Come to check on the pottery? I'm afraid I just fired the kilns up, so there'll be a while still. Pottery? Bah! I was just admiring that fine canine over there. You point to a scraggly-looking mutt patrolling the yard. Oh, tell us what you really think. That dog you have over there is absolutely gorgeous. I bet it's riddled with fleas. May I give her a petting? Oh, can you pet the dog? Time to test. Oh, you can try, but I wouldn't if you value your fingers. She's a touch bitey today and doesn't much like people going near the ovens. I have a way with animals. Yeah, I like to set snap traps that crush them into tiny little gobbets of meat. That's my way with them. Surely I can find something to calm her down. Foul-tempered. Snaps at anything that comes too close. Yeah, I'm going to snap right back. I could shear it, or I could give it a soporific morsel. Soporific. I don't know what that would come from, though. Purpley organs? Looks a little bit gross almost. Well, I could give you a little shear. Do you like that? Oh, God. Not a good time for touching, or for, no, it said ouch, for petting. Not a good time for petting. I was trying to use it. I'm trying to shear this dog. I'm getting right up in its business and trying to do it. I couldn't dig out some coal. I could dig with the right tools. I should inspect some more things. The ash pile, I need the trowel. A box for storing things. Oh, I can finally look at a bird. A skittish songbird enjoys eating seeds. Look at how far I can investigate while I'm using this. And an empty jar, a fired earthenware pot for holding liquids, and more of an ash pile. Well, I guess I need the meat, because he's not going to let me shear him. Can I just run into your house then, perhaps? Or, better yet, steal your belongings. That's another option. What the heck is with menu navigation in this game? Why can I, like... There we go. Why was that so hard? Rich, muddy earth that can be shaped and molded. I've had issues with this controller lately, so I should say on camera, I'm equally likely to blame my controller as the game, if not more likely. So I try not to hold it against. Don't die. Yeah, I'm trying not to die. I've got that in mind. Didn't need to be said, I'm aware. A gold coin, a singular small piece of gold, suitable for exchange as currency. I was thinking to myself, like, I bet the best way to take this dog down would be to lay down and die. Glad you got my back there, Dayton. I guess I gotta go make some potions, collect some ingredients, do all that good jazz. I really thought that guy was going to hook me up with the hatchet. I was weirdly confident in it. All right, bird, though. Maybe you have some soporific. Maybe that bird, either bird will do. A meaty morsel. Oh, and the blue feather. There we go. Okay. I wonder if I should try and play until I at least find those 4 ingredients. That could be like a particular task for me. A long, dry well. The darkness below seems idle for slimy creatures and other things forgotten. I just need a bit of twine. And the well-wisher, quite uncomfortable with the well before him, but can't bring himself to look away. Dayton's in the chat confirming that the game handles well with keyboard controls, so that's good to know for anyone who would like be limited to that. Oh man, oh jeez, I don't know about this. You tap the man's shoulder and he nearly tumbles head first into the well. Ah! What's the matter with you? I could have fallen in. Well, perhaps you shouldn't be leaning over the edge like some wobbly stork. What's so interesting down this well anyways? Well, my grandpappy used to tell me that people dropped all sorts of treasure down there, just waiting for someone to dig it up. Got myself a trowel and thought I'd give it a go. But the rope's out and it looks awful dark and damp. I get goosebumps just thinking about all the ghoulies that might be lurking down there in the shadows. Ever consider that those ghoulies might get goosebumps thinking about you lurking up here in the sunlight? No, not really. What are they going to be scared of? They're the ghouls. Not sure if that makes me feel any better about them, actually. Maybe the business of treasure hunting isn't for me after all. Maybe ghouls in this world are like sharks, just totally misunderstood. Someone out there is making Ghoul Week, talking about all the crazy, violent ghoul deaths that happen every single year. And they're just, no, they're good for the environment. They're important to the structure of the ecosystem. Leave the sharks alone. Leave the ghouls alone. I'm just realizing the funny double meaning of a well-wisher is that he's looking at a well, making wishes, but that he's like wishing well? Maybe it's meant to be both? Here, why don't you take my trowel? I don't think I'll be needing it. You can go down into the well and see those ghoulies yourself. He offers it, and I'm absolutely going to take it. I could use it to collect ashes. This old well is deep and dark. You might be able to climb down into it, but the rope has long since rotted away. Well, then I will use the twine. A cool breeze wafts up. You toss a length of strong homemade rope down into the darkness. It seems like it should support you without much fuss. I love this like opportunity, this like exploration that's going on. I'm immediately running down into there. And now I know where I'm going to get my hatchet as well. I love this type of game where at every intersection, every second, every minute, there's like a new thing that like, I gotta go investigate that more closely. I gotta go look here. I gotta go send my way down the well. I gotta go back to the dog's house. I gotta go check out this. Like, it's just infinite in its opportunity to like explore the next interesting thing, you know? I'm kind of obsessed. Well, grab me. The clay is packed. I'll need to use a trowel. Well, lucky for this clay and for me, I have just what I need. Oh, shiny stone. I found a shiny stone. A clay deposit, a load of slippery clay, should contain a few useful handfuls. Will allow me to load up. Actually, can I investigate? Yeah, okay, I can investigate the things that get knocked loose as well. Oh, there is a bunch of gold down here as well. A freshwater spring, an aquifer, yeah, I'm gonna be that guy, gushing with cool, clean water. I guess my head is probably in the way. Just so I can specifically out the typo and lord my weak grammatical prowess, lack thereof, over that one tiny typo. I honestly think my grammar is just abysmal. I could collect some water with a jar. It's funny to think that the spring is weak to a jar. You think you're so high and mighty, you tiny trickle of water? I'll show you. Just you wait till I get my hands on a jar. Dayton's saying, oh man, wait till you get into the wide open world. I need to get back to this one. Okay, so I'm in like the starting area. I haven't even like opened this game up remotely at this stage, it sounds like, which is like exhilarating, because that makes me think this game is actually going to fulfill its potential, because I've played games like this before that start strong and that moment to moment discovery starts to wane, and there's like, you know, diminishing returns as you might expect there to be. Oh, weakness unknown. Is weakness opening it? Not so simple. And so the fact that this game potentially is deep enough to keep you coming back and wanting to find more and more and more, like, that's what I want. A darkened nook, a cozy burrow for a creature who prefers to be left alone. I don't know if I should try and invade its space then. I mean, it's kind of telling me specifically not to. Something stirs inside but does not emerge. Do I have the ability to just... I have to make the morsel, by first making a potion, which itself is craftable, but I need mushrooms and things I don't even have, a leaf cap, a jar of water, and I at least have the impi nut. This draft will send whoever drinks into a deep sleep. However, it tastes horrible, so mix it with something delicious. I guess those nuts are real good. I feel like I could feed that thing like a sleeping potion, perhaps. Can I just throw down a morsel of food for it? See, I don't think that's an option. If I can't put it down into my inventory, then I don't think I can do anything like that. Oh, the dog hair. I'm sitting here trying to shear that dog, not thinking to myself and realizing that that is the next thing that I need, or like now the last thing that I need. Oh man, where do I put my time next? I think I have to go talk to this guy because the hatchet has come up enough times. Watch where you're swinging that, woodsman. Oh, if you guys have never watched The Woodsman, it was a series of like 6 cartoons. They were like 4 minutes each that aired on like Cartoon Network or something like that. They would air in between other shows. And it's weird, like poor art mixed with real world photos. And then they would do that thing where you cut out someone's actual mouth and insert it on like a cartoon picture of it was the weirdest, freakiest shit that I saw on TV at 2 a.m. one day, and I was obsessed with it. They only made so few of them. Go look up and watch The Woodsman. I have recommended these things to people for years. They're so bizarre. I still quote them to this day. Worth checking out. Hey, you there. Give me a hand, would you? With what? You seem to have everything under control. These stumps aren't going anywhere. My darn useless son was supposed to help me, but he wandered off again. Probably to go bother frogs and eat bugs or some such nonsense. Ragamuffin is your son? I think you gotta be a little concerned about the level of green that guy is experiencing. He's not orange from eating carrots or red from the sun or anything. He's doing something afoul that should concern you. Anyway, I need help clearing away some of these dead logs. It's late in the season, and the wood has started to rot. Just be careful of the purple mushrooms that sometimes grow inside. They'll make you powerful sleepy if you breathe in the spores. Okay, well, glad I did this, because that's how I'm going to find the mushrooms I need for the potion. As much as I do love poisonous fungi, I'm not much of a lumberjack. Nonsense. Anyone can experience the joys of splitting a fine stump. Here, my boy won't be missing his hatchet. The woodsman spins a sharp-looking... He's just like twirling it, just doing cool tricks. He spins a sharp-looking hatchet in his hands and thrusts the handle at you. Well, thank you. That is outright very generous of you. Chopped all the wood in his wood would do it again. Okay, there hasn't been a lot of like jokes hidden in the descriptions, which I do enjoy when games do. I don't need every game to do it all the time, but that's a dang good one. I'm a fan. You do need to switch to the correct item. A campfire ember. I do kind of like when games like this are set in a way that if you just hit the interact button and you happen to have the necessary tool, then it automatically pulls out the tool you need. I know it automates it a little bit, but it starts to become a bit of a pain, like swapping between like 8 tools. Sweet smelling mushroom that brings forgetfulness and slumber. Okay, so we're not just going to knock out that dog, we're going to destroy its brain at the same time. I would start to feel a little bit guilty about that. It suddenly doesn't like remember its master. Maybe it won't be anything quite so extreme. But I am a witch. I don't know if I'm an evil witch at this stage or what exactly my full range of motivations might be. And so I'm suspicious of myself. Honestly, who knows what I might do. Oh, that's funny. The item needed to make the rope to go down into the well is literally directly next to the well. That's some tutorial level forgiveness, you know. I already forget kind of what some of my order of operations are. I still need the jar of water. So excuse me, little guard dog. I'm gonna slip past ya. The campfire ember, once a raging fire, before that a mighty tree. Oh, okay, we're gonna trace back its entire like carbon history of how it was once atoms of a star and across the Big Bang, then fell upon a asteroid that made its way on Earth that created the elements that then photosynthesis. Like, is that how far we're going? What were those? A soot sprite, a tiny dancer born of what once was. Oh, can I switch to my? Oh no, I'm hitting the wrong buttons. I'm mashing buttons. Okay, they kind of got stuck. It's not like they could disappear off screen. So that was just like an exciting moment. I didn't know what those were or how I would be able to catch them or if they would be easy to catch. Often beneath one's notice, these are the true power behind a raging flame. Dayton just pointed out that we absolutely have little chicken legs and chicken feet, so that indicates evil witch. I am curious if at any point we'll take off our helmet, which, by the way, the horns and stuff are cool, but I also like the fashion statement of having built-in earrings into your helmet. That's just, you're covering up your face so you don't have to do anything, no need to scrub up or any of that, but you still want it to look nice and presentable, have a fancy side to it. I can dig it. Back down into the well, hook ourselves up with some sweet jars of water. If I have enough jars, which I think I do. It's funny that it completely changes color, but suspension of disbelief. I'm sure it's just for the sake of making it slightly easier to keep track of. Oh, cool. I don't actually need like a kiln or anything. I can just use the clay and the embers to make an empty jar. So, okay, now I don't mind so much. I was concerned that I was going to burn through my ingredients. So, I know now that I can make a pair of these. Oh, damn it, it needed 2 mushrooms. Okay, so now I'm going to make the soporific morsel, and I'm going to try and use it on this creature down here, just because I want to experiment with that a little bit. I know I'm supposed to be saving it for up top, but now I know that I have what I need to collect the ingredients to craft it. I can always make more. Whoops. All right, got to lob that a little bit more. I'm not very good at aiming this. There we go. Do you think if I leave that this thing will go on in? Maybe I need to make a trap? I could try and whip up a snap trap. And I could lay one of those down as well. There's one of those 2 things what you're into. Dang. Not so simple. I kind of thought that would be... I'm sure it would come out as soon as I presented those things, if that was what I needed to do. So we got a mystery to keep in the back of our mind, which is always fun to have, like, these branching points where you start to think, all right, what is the combination of resources and ingredients and crafting and things that I will eventually need to come back to make use of that? And it gets you thinking, and you gotta do your own work to keep track of it. There you go, buddy. I'm sure you'll enjoy that. I'm sure you'll enjoy that, I said, if I throw it right on top of you. There he goes. He just collapsed. A quick snip with my shears should do it. I was trying to give him a pet while I was at it. And there's the dog hair. Frog slime, blue feather, shiny stone, and dog hair. That's all I need for those braziers. I should head back home now. I should. But I also want a quick second, because, like, obviously I haven't explored the whole area. There's, like, other things going on. I want to know kind of some of what lays beyond. So we have a door that we don't yet have access to, may never. Bars a witch's way until it deigns to be opened, so we will eventually be able to. There's a dryad, which is just a tree. This tree seems particularly angry about something, maybe everything. You can have a cinder box and a fairy totem, an inscribed construction of the Fey folk. Its purpose, as mysterious as they. So I without having gone to that area, I quickly snuck the ability to make a cinder box, which is kind of cool to think you're peeking through the fence and like trying to scope out some of that stuff. I'm going to get over to that house over there. This is what I'm saying. It's a constant feeding of like, oh, okay, well, now I have to go see what the deal is with this. Or what's that over there? The stag, a stylized image to flatter the self-proclaimed ruler of the region. I'll show him. I'm going to come at him with a hatchet, and then we'll see who's the ruler of the region. Commissioned by him, of course, and promptly forgotten. A flower petal. A rousing scent rises from the petal, sharpening your senses. Oh, I needed that for something. For the hearthseed. So there are, is that hearthseed, whatever it was called? Too quick for my hands. Am I crazy? There is a house back there. But there's like a real chance that that's something you're not meant to discover. Like maybe I'm genuinely not meant to be able to reach that point. All right, while I'm over here, I might as well wrangle up as much of these as I can. I don't think I'm limited by what I can carry, so I might as well just start grabbing things up. I got a healthy supply of ingredients. Maybe I've exhausted the corners of this wood. Everything that you could explore could come down to only what was needed to fulfill the quest. Oh, did it say my hatchet might break? It didn't, so I suppose I got away with it there. Or, oh no, he was saying I need a hatchet to break apart the log, something like that. Okay, maybe this area was only as big as what was needed to find that specific set of ingredients. It really gave the sense of being larger, and there's something down below. I have to lure out that creature, and there's a chest and a gate over there, and there's the gilded gate up above. So for now, what is available to me was only what was needed to find those few ingredients. But you can already see a few reasons to come back. And that's exciting to start thinking of like, all right, well, what can I go discover and how can I bring that back and start applying it? Love it. And knowing that I've spent an hour doing more or less what amounts to the tutorial, and it's been this full and engaging, there's 8 different areas to explore. There's already reasons to start coming back. I'm about to open something new entirely. This game is so quickly, easily, obviously, like a minimum 10-hour game. I'm ballparking. I'm really guessing, but it's indicating to me that there's a lot. What are you giving these to me for? Set them into the braziers. The brazier awaits an offering. A strong force pulls the feather down into the large basin like a magnet. It bursts into a bright flash of light as cold flames engulf its essence. The dog hairs take a moment to fall from your fingers. Oh, this sticky, gross, get a lint roller. Fluttering down into the basin one by one, the fur bristles into foul-smelling coils before erupting into a cold, green flame. You gently squeeze the globs of wet slime from your satchel into the basin. The mucus bubbles and pops before cold flames reduce it to a fine, odorless ash. I really would expect it to stink, you know? You drop the stone into the basin with a resounding chiming sound, and you realize stones don't burn and that this was a stupid solution. Fractures trace across the pebble before it cracks open, and a cold green light swallows it within its flames. The emerald flames of the braziers play strange shadows across the stone doorway. You watch as fingers of shadow crawl up the rock face and crack open the solid granite like stale bread. The stone crumbles away into darkness, revealing a yawning stairway descending down into the cold earth. After you, madam! Oh my goodness, is this where I'm about to go to hell? Going through the gateway into the shrine. I do want to see what lays ahead now in this next area. Is that the first achievement? I didn't even think the game had achievements. Nothing had come up. There's only 14 achievements. And that one was first things first. Yeah, okay, there are individual achievements for collecting each soul. That's the first one. It's remember your contract with the goat. Then there's about, what does it work out to? 12 for collecting the different souls. And then one last final achievement for collecting all 12 souls. So that gives you an idea of the true size of this game. Oh. Well, like a Sleeping Beauty down here? I guess the game is tying together fairy tales in a small way. There's like 12 slots on that ring there. The Sleeping Maiden. Encased inside a gilded crystal coffin lies the body of a young woman. Though she sleeps in an enchanted slumber, her ageless features express a deep sadness. The sound of cloven hooves echo against the marble floor as the goat comes to your side. Quite something, isn't she? Do you remember bringing her to me? I brought her to you? Why? Who is she? I haven't the faintest idea. All I know is you brought her lifeless form to my doorstep and begged me to save her soul. Save her? From what? And why is she asleep? Why, from the 12 wicked souls whom you said wronged her in life. Villains who deceived her and cheated her and broke her spirit. And as we agreed, here she will sleep until our contract is fulfilled. Until you bring me those 12 wicked souls. What? I remember no such contract. Our pact is binding, regardless of what you do or do not remember. At the goat's words, you feel something hard and dark locked away in the depths of your heart. It speaks the truth. And just why should I do your bidding? Seems like a lot of bothersome trouble to me. Why do I care about some Sleeping Beauty? Trademark, copyright, Bring me the 12 souls, and I will release the Sleeping Maiden from her slumber. Our agreement will be fulfilled. Who knows? In time, you may even remember why you brought her to me in the first place. So the goat is evil, right? He's collecting souls, the devil, something like that. And the maiden is either like our wife or our daughter or literally us. That's one of my theories here, is that like that is our own body, and that's why we know her history of the wicked souls who had done her ill in her life, something like that. Or you could simply return to the comfort of your little hovel, where you will waste away until the weeds grow so thick that not even your shears will be able to cut you free. I mean, they're pretty rusty shears. They're not like that nice of shears. And your mind will stay as empty as that grimoire of yours. And that's your fault. Don't, relate those two things when you're the destructive force behind that. But it is a big decision to make so hastily. Why don't you sleep on it? A heavy weight fills your marrow. Your eyelids flutter. All of them? Is it a wink or a blink? Barely able to stay open. What have you... I'm doing the goat voice. What have you done to me? I can't stay awake. Did the goat put this maiden to sleep? Start thinking about those sort of connections. What the heck just happened to us? If I wander out that front door, is the world just kind of going to be open to me? Good morning. I trust you've made up your mind. Will you collect the souls I've asked for, or would you prefer to stay stuck in this festering swamp? I don't know. I'm tempted to go full Shrek on this one. It is a hell of a swamp. It's a real good swamp. I got a lot more than a single boulder going for me here. I've done a lot with the place to really make it feel quite homey. And, Donkey's going to be back any day now, and I only got one. I got room for one 4-hooven little creature to bother me in that time. All right. No need to get your horns in a twist. I'll do as you ask. You haven't given me much choice. Splendid. As it happens, I can already sense the first 4 souls we seek, but that's a lot all at once. 2 are in the forest, another in the swamp to the north. I abandoned the voice for a second there. And the last in the fields to the south. Forest, swamp, and fields? I don't even know if the north and the south ones are within this area, or do I still need to take the portal? Could you be more specific? Near a shapely stump, perhaps inside a tree with a face, by an overgrown mushroom grove. What do I look like? A compass? Go out there and look for yourself. Fair enough. A new chapter, The Sleeping Maiden. Well, I think, first things first, I kind of want to jump in here. The bear in the forest, the ox in the fields, the leech in the swamp, the snake in the forest. And I only have the one available to me so far. Fun, flowery area. Is that like cactuses and things? A snowy winter area. Barrels, like a market or something like that. This looks like just a town, probably. This is some fantasy, like a fisher's village, but also just kind of very fantasy heavy. And not a clue how to interpret that one. Like stone figures, hopefully not like graves and stuff. If I head back home, I'm just curious if the fields in the swamp must be other things. I really don't think I can like venture out from this area. So probably I would go and find the bear, and then at that point I would open up some of the other opportunities. Yeah, all of those must be in some of those different branches there. Well, hot damn. Wytchwood, out now. I have links in the description already. If people are as intrigued as I am, then I would highly encourage people to go check it out. I just figured, you know what? This game looks incredible. I'm going to squeeze it into my morning here. I got other stuff to do, unfortunately, but I would happily just like pour 8 hours into this today right now and really like invest deeply in it. It's so damn charming. Highly recommended at this point. If the game can remotely live up to this stylistically, gameplay, intrigue, storytelling, then, you know, this game is an absolute banger. Thank you guys for tuning in live. Hopefully in the new year, it's something I'll be doing a lot more often. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you again soon.